Hello and welcome to a Gutsy
Good morning.
conversation. We
Hi.
have Keli Moreno and Victoria Whisler here with me, and we are going to just have fun this morning, having a fireside chat to just talk about gut health and the importance of it and the healthy lifestyle and how we integrate everything together. So just wanted to say hello and be here. And if you have questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If you're connected with StreamYard, we'll see that message and I can ask the questions. Otherwise, we'll get to it after the live. But feel free to ask questions as you go, and we'll make that work. So my first question here is for Keli. And Keli, you have such an interesting lifestyle, and I'm so impressed with all the things that you do, and just your history of focusing on gut health for quite some time now. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you even came into that?
So I am someone that has dealt with autoimmune problems my whole life. I started when I was very young. I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and that went into remission. And then I have developed a thyroid issue and fibromyalgia over the last 20, 40 years. Since my early 20s. And back then I wasn't eating healthy. And as I started to do research and realized that my gut health had a lot to do with what was happening to my body, I started on a mission of just educating myself on, trigger foods, things that processed foods, things that are done in the natural that you buy in a grocery store, canned foods, realizing that BPA and stuff are in the inside of cans, and how I'm ruining my own health by doing that. My body tends to be a little more sensitive to those types of things. And so it set me on a journey of discovering what was triggering for me and what was really hurting my health. And so I started just getting back to basics. I went back to a whole foods regime and got back to as close to whole foods as I could. Went to organic. I don't eat anything that's not organic, and I try to stay with grass-fed, grass-raised, and grass-finished beef, or organic chicken, things that don't have hormones and those types of things. So I do a whole foods program. I also do I can my own foods now, so that if I find a good deal, I will, can my own things, my meats and stuff like that, so that I have a quick go-to. I don't just run out to the drive-through. I try not to do that. Of course, we're all human. We all have, times when we're out and have to do that, but I try to pick the very best that I can,
That's such an amazing story, and you've certainly been my hero too, and just helping guiding with me we have some similar health issues. It's amazing how healing your gut can help reduce some of those symptoms.
Yes,
and
inflammation is horrible.
Yeah.
No
Amen
matter
to
where
that.
it is.
Amen to that. Well, let's go to Victoria. And Victoria, you've been in the health and wellness business for quite some time, leading teams, helping the firemen be healthy, and guiding cardiac nurse and everything. Tell us your lifestyle practices and how you came about to gut health.
Well, very interesting. As I'm leading everybody to health and thinking that I'm healthy, I was doing the exact opposite. So I listened to Keli, who's my inspiration, and my sister, who have had these autoimmune issues, and then started highlighting the importance of whole foods and the importance of gut health, as we have been learning through our challenge here. And as I've started researching, I've been realizing what I thought was healthy, more fast-paced, because I am busy. We all are. The three of us on this panel are. But as I was going through this fast-paced life, I was kind of a little lazy. lazy, and wanted the frozen foods, things that were simple that I could come home and just nuke it all up, and thinking that even if it was like a lean cuisine and all of that kind of stuff, that it would be okay. And I'm really sad that it's not. It requires a little bit more effort. So,
isn't that right? It's amazing how we think we're eating healthy. We even read the labels and everything, and then we find out there's particular ingredients that we shouldn't be eating. It's so misleading. You know, I trust the label in the front that says healthy, and so we gravitate towards it. But as I learned so much more, there's it really is inspirational, Keli, that you're controlling everything from canning meats to canning your own tomato sauce. But I'm sorry to interrupt, Vic.
That is going to be, like Teri said, that will be my standard down the road. But for those of you that are listening to this going, oh, I can't do that, it's all baby steps. And so it's just, what can you do today to just fit into your lifestyle that's even a little bit better? And then as you improve, and we'll talk about in a little bit, supplementation to help you stay on track and things like that. But my biggest thing to finish on that topic is making sure that the leafy green vegetables, the rainbow of color and all of that is, I pack my lunch with all of that before I go. And that is the biggest thing that I'm doing right now. And then eventually I'm going to try to work on the dinner part too.
You know, I have found that back to basics means that you have a meat, a vegetable, possibly two vegetables, depending on what your eating plan is. I don't eat a lot of carbs. I don't eat a lot of pastas or anything like that, but I do eat things like, sweet potato, and I do have regular potato occasionally, not all the time. If I'm eating rice, I eat brown rice. If I eat more what's the word I'm looking for, complex carbohydrates versus simple carbohydrates, so that your body has to digest it slower, and so it's got a lower glycemic index when it does finally hit your bloodstream. And so, like she was saying, it is Vicki, it is something that you have to take baby steps on. This is a 40-year journey for me. So don't expect that you're going to go right to canning and think you know it all, because that's a journey in itself.
It's so important too. Yeah, it is. And it's so important to understand what your gut needs and what your gut triggers are. Because for me, tomatoes, jalapenos, red potatoes, eggplant. I thought I was eating, when I found out I had rheumatoid arthritis, and I went to I'll just come up with all these different recipes for eggplant and do that, because it was thick and texture. And
but nightshade vegetables are the worst for
exactly
the worst.
They are the worst.
They're nightshade. They're called nightshade vegetables. And so those are things like tomato, anything with a leathery, waxy skin, like peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, mostly the seedy stuff, that's not good for you. All of that needs to be removed. If you're going to eat it, it's okay to eat the meat, for some people, but taking the seeds and the skins and stuff off is really imperative for somebody who has rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia, or somebody that has diverticulitis or something like that. That's going to be really damaging to their body.
Yeah, and you could tell right away the flare-ups, especially when you start removing those and you introduce them back in. I noticed right away, nope, I thought I could take just a bite, and all of a sudden, immediately that tingling goes on. So your body really does give you those clues to tell you what not to eat and what to eat. And, it's funny. I used to eat for the taste buds, not anymore. Now I eat for the gut, and your gut tells you, you'll start those little tinglings, the inflammation. Tomatoes is worse for any arthritis too, by the way. and even when you take the skin off, that's a lot where the nutrients are. So then you think you're still getting the healthy vitamins, and that's where you remove it. And so maybe that leads us into our next question about, and I'll start with you, Keli, again. What are some of the thought process you have in terms of you're so healthy, you can everything, you control everything that you eat, which is so inspirational. So why supplement?
Well, even when you're eating the most healthy food that you can get, I mean, there are still ways that you're lacking. In the American diet, you're lacking those nutrients. You're lacking the B vitamins, D. We're not getting enough D vitamins anywhere in the world. So, you just have to, more so for your energy levels and those types of things, where you just start to realize that those things can really benefit you in addition to the food that you're eating, because you can't eat enough food to get all of the nutrients that your body really needs.
Even when we want to.
Yeah. Even if you're doing it all right,
That's the most important here. Hey, Vicki,
or
do
at
you have
least
anything to
trying
add? Vic, do you have anything to add?
Yes. There is no way in heck that most people, but especially me, I can get, like Keli said, all the nutrients in the day that my body needs for it to be healthy. Also, as we've been learning about a strong gut health microbiome, making sure that there's enough of the balance of a good gut microbiome. And how do I get all of that? Because the foods, you can get it nutritiously, like Keli said, through the foods and Teri, but sometimes you have medical conditions. So the foods that your body should have, you can't have in that kind of form. Or getting 6 to 8 leafy green type of vegetables in your diet, in a busy American diet where we don't get to go to the store, or not even to the store, to the farmer's market and go there every day and cook and do things ideally. There's just no way I can personally get all of that. So supplementation is key. It really is the difference between health and ultimate health. So you can be doing all of that stuff and you're healthy, but to push it up and rev it up a little bit of a notch where you're getting your immunity boost up. And these times it's super important that to get that immunity up, you are going to have to do some type of supplementation. And most physicians will be recommending that.
So I have to laugh. My dear sister.
Uh-oh.
Supplementation. We've talked about supplementation for years, here and there and everything. And for the longest time, there was, we would always discuss that, what's better, this or that. What made you increase your viewpoint on supplementation?
2 points. Because we're limited in time. We
can go on all day.
Land the plane, yes. The first point, my husband, he's from Newport Beach. When I first met him 30 years ago, our dates would go to the Store Mothers. It's still there in Newport Beach. And he would have a cupboard, and still does, of his supplements. Now it's on Plexus, because we realize the way that it's formulated and getting to our cells, it's more bioavailable. So we're realizing that, and he's doing great with it. So we realized that, but it was really watching him the entire time. Teri's right. Probably 20 years or more of watching Byron and me telling him as a nurse, you're just peeing it out. It's expensive pee. It's, why are you doing that? Just eat fruits.
We're going there, are we?
Yes. So watching him, he got a medical condition, and then and it's terminal. But why is he still blessed with extended life right now and doing pretty good, and as opposed to other people who have not done well? And I have to attribute it. I started thinking, supplementation. And then comes Teri about the same time. and that I was kind of looking at, he's making me eat my words, because that supplementation that he was doing, and it was his greens, like the green powder, the fruit powder. We all know that a cupboard full, it looked like a pharmacy. And I even told the doctor, his surgeon, I took a snapshot and said, will you tell him to stop? Because I was thinking maybe some of this was causing, he has a history of prostate cancer that metastasized. And so all this whole thing for the last 10 years. And the doctor said, just let him leave him alone. Let him do what he's doing. He's doing well. So that's a physician that promoted that supplementation. And then when Teri came in and started teaching me more about gut health, and that you really do need supplementation for the ultimate health. And because I have a medical condition too, I tend to be extreme and had 2 emergency surgeries for gut. She was worried about me and was trying to, in a nice way, go, you need to wake up and you need to do this. So I started doing it, and then started realizing over time, oh, wow, I have less food cravings. My stomach issues and stomach aches were going away. I'd have them like every week, every day almost. Now it's, if I have a severe one, I call it my ER pain. It's maybe once a year. And that's because I did something bad, like eat something bad or celebrated way too much.
Keli, how about you? Same question. And if you can also integrate the idea of how stress influences that too.
Oh my goodness. I have a very stressful job. I run 3 care homes, and I have 10 consumers that live in those homes, and I have 18 employees, and somebody's calling out, and during this COVID time, my goodness, I'm having to fill hours when people are going out. And so doing my job on top of their job is just terrible. It's a lot of hours, but just, as far as like stress goes, I mean, I think stress, without getting too personal, has caused my body undue damage to just from being under it constantly. It's put my kidneys at risk. It's put my adrenal glands are constantly, in motion and trying to block some of that stress. It's releasing that stress hormone, and so, over the years, I've just tried to do everything I can to combat that, to introduce things that feed my gut health, like preparing my own kombucha, and then adding in, when I got reconnected with Teri a couple of years ago, we had a long conversation about plexus at that time, and I wasn't really ready to hear it. Like you, Vicki, I was really dragging myself from the aspect of supplementation. I was doing things like, I don't want to mention any names, but superfoods that come dried and dehydrated, and there's brands out there, let me tell you. And when I got plexus, and Teri finally sent me a 3-day beginner's box, I don't know what to call it, but that's what I called it. And within those 3 days, oh my goodness, the inflammation in my legs was gone. I was feeling so much better. I could move. I was like, give me this. What is this? And we spent like 4 hours on the phone one night until like well past midnight talking about it. And just ever since, I've been really excited about it,
It just warms my heart. I love hearing the stories about how finding gut health helps you. And it just, I have my own issues with that, where I thought I was doomed to a sedentary life, and watching my father and my grandmother just it just breaks my heart when I think that there was a solution that could have helped them if we only knew that autoimmune issues could be managed. We have these genetic traits, and that's where my mindset was. We have these genetic traits that says, okay, you have the rheumatoid arthritis gene. So, it was almost a walking time bomb. Okay, I know I'm going to, at some point, have that sedentary life. And then to find out that you can minimize and reduce and manage your whole system through just what you eat and what you supplement for all the reasons we had just talked about in terms of getting enough of those vitamins and nutrients that your body needs, so that you can reverse it, has just been a game changer. It really has changed my life. It was an accident that I found Plexus. A friend of mine posted something when I was, in that sedentary mindset, saying, okay, this is a life sentence. At least I want to look good, right? Who doesn't want to look good? If I'm not feeling good, we just kind of hide it or whatever. And, medications were just blowing me up. I was just bigger than I had ever had been. So I was in those infomercial hours thinking, okay, now it's time for me to just focus on just losing weight. I had no idea that if you have inflammation in your body, there is no way that you can lose weight. So it really is managing from the inside out, managing that inflammation, moving. Even the smallest movement is so important because, just breathing. There's ways to breathe and reset those neurons for that mind-gut connection that can just help trigger those cells start talking together to remove those inflammation and leaky gut. That could be a whole other topic there or whatever. But I want to go back to the busy lifestyle and Kelly, you started on that but I want to kind of go to the point where you're so busy and integrating just one more thing. You already set with your things, and so many times, even when we're intentional, one extra step kind of throws the whole thing off. And Vic had talked about baby steps, and we'll get to you on that Vic. But if you can start, Kelly, on what do you do to help integrate a new step into your lifestyle so that can be repeatable day after day after day?
So one of the things that I did when I started Plexus, and I think we talked about this a couple of phone calls ago, our Christmas party maybe.
It was a pajama party on a Zoom.
Was when I told you guys that I pre-make my water bottles. So not only does it help me with water, but I have this. So I make sure that I get all of my water in.
She should get a prize for that. Water, so important.
And so I make sure that I have that constantly filled with me every time. And I also buy sports bottle filled with alkaline water at the grocery store, and I pre-make my pink drinks. So I'll add in my active and my pink drink or the slim, and I mix mine together. So that goes in the refrigerator. It has a tendency to kind of solidify at the bottom. So sitting in that water for just even a 30-minute period will help that to dissolve. So sitting in there and getting nice and cold. And when I get up in the morning, all I do is grab one and go. And I don't do it for a lot of days in advance. I do it for 2 or 3 days, 4 days, maybe at the max. And so I always have them sitting in there. And when I go to the grocery store, I buy 4 more, and I just put them in my water bottle, and so they're ready to go when I need them. So I'm not forgetting them. So just being thoughtful in the way that you're doing something to help you daily to keep on track is going to be the best thing that you can do for yourself. It takes me 10 minutes to dump all that, make them, and stick them in the fridge. And then for 4 days, I don't really have to think about it again. I just, grab it and go.
I love that. How about you, Mick?
I am similar to Kelly, and I think the Plexus community, those of us that have really discovered that we feel so much better on this particular program for health, that if you miss a day, we go crazy because you can feel the difference of what health looks like.
I got to interrupt you for just a second. Yeah. Miss a day could be all of a sudden constipated again. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
did I
yes,
go there? Anyway,
Yes.
back to you, Mick.
And you know
it's
how I
true.
love to talk about that subject. I don't. Those people that know me back in the day when I did bedpans in the hospital when I was a cardiac nurse, we would switch jobs because it would make me gag. And I took care of patients with heart attacks, and the patients would laugh at me, and I'd have to give them morphine because they'd start having chest pain because I'd gag. So I do not like that subject. It's one of the things that was taboo in our house. So now it's a thing. Like, you need to have good poop. So there you go. But that is, you don't want to feel, you want to feel good. And so if you are missing those, you don't like it. So we do prepare, and like Kelly said, it is minimal intention of getting these all ready to go and grabbing it and taking it, and knowing that that pink drink, that Slim, has so many good prebiotics, that does so much for your body, increases your metabolism, gets those good microbiomes in there, that then also help with cellular de-inflammation and all the things that contribute, other things that can contribute to health problems like diabetes, high cholesterol too. I suffer from high cholesterol. And then when I was telling Teri, I don't like doing all this research because now I see I might have dementia with high cholesterol. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. And that was just yesterday, folks. So this is a complete journey when you're realizing we need to wake up here in America. We need to take control of our health and manage our problems. And if we have a major diagnosis, those are things that we can get charge of. These products are super good. So yeah, it's that's my way. And then I do take the triplex system, and triplex for plexus is the foundation of what plexus is about. They want your basic gut health, because we know that that's the important foundation, 70% of your immunity, all the other things involved. That's the basic of what we need in our system for supplementation. And that is that pink drink that I just talked about, the prebiotic that nourishes the probiotic and increases those good probiotics. But also it has BioCleanse, so it gets rid of the toxins. Magnesium, which is super important, mineral that we need to have to help us sleep and help us regulate properly. And then the good ProBio 5. Those three components, which I will post later, are the basic foundation of all three of our program, our regimen.
And I will say that in regards to that, one of the other things that I do is I take water with me to bed, and I have my Bio 5 and my I can't remember the name of the other one.
Yeah.
Yes, the BioCleanse right next to my bed. So when I first get up in the morning, my water's right there. Take my supplements, same thing when I go to bed, take my supplements. And so it's just basically setting myself up for being able to stay on track.
Well, that's fabulous information. We only have a few more minutes. And so, Kelly, if you can do a rundown, you're getting out of your car, you're going into the market, and you're thinking, I'm just going to buy the healthy things. What's your thought process, and how do you shop?
I stick to the outsides of the store. I very rarely venture into the middle, unless I'm in an organic section and buying
The
whole
dangerous
foods.
zone.
Yes, I don't buy any processed foods if I can at all help it. Holidays and stuff, when I'm cooking for my family or something. I live by myself, so that's not really an issue. I don't have to meet anybody else's wants or needs or have it there to really kind of tempt me. So like I said, I just stick to the outsides of the stores. I buy organic as much as possible. I buy whole foods that are seasonal mostly, but try to fit in. I think that's where I differ a little bit from maybe you, Vic, is that I like to eat seasonally, because it's more readily available to you, and I think God created us to eat seasonally. That's why the foods are there, and that's why they grow at those times. So I kind of follow that that trend and, like I said, stick to a more natural way of being. I
So great.
I lighten my chemical load as much as possible.
I still get in the middle of the store still.
Yeah, and there you are, squeezed in the middle again. I am so blessed because I live in America. Actually, I live in the world agricultural basket. So I have the seasonal fruits ready to me at any time. I have, farmers markets almost every day of the week.
Me
4
too.
of the 7.
I'm north of you, so I'm there too.
Yeah, and it's so great and so fun to just walk down the like even our shopping centers and the walkways in between have all the farmers markets and the hospitals too. So it's kind of nice to always walk down and you see those glorious colors calling you. And so yes, eating for the rainbow is so important. So that is all the time we have today. I can't wait to do this again. It's been so much fun having you both on. I really do appreciate it. Yes. So that's it. Healthy is not a scale on the number. Healthy is getting healthy from the inside out. And so we do need to have those tough conversations, those smelly, icky, gross conversations, because we don't I read somewhere, and I'll leave you with this thought. I read somewhere that there are people that when they're studying people and everything that have I want to say it was like 14 pounds of past fecal material in their digestive system, and so just because you go once a day doesn't mean that you're going as much as that you need to. So there you have it. There's the gutsy conversation. We'll leave you with that. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
You too. Bye.